The knock you didn't hear, but felt. There are knocks you don't hear with your ears, but with your bones. With your blood. With something older than memory that lives inside you. My dear Capricorn, if you're watching this, something ancient has already stirred within the walls of your world. Not a sound, but a pressure. Not a face, but a presence. And no, this isn't just another tarot reading. This is a message encrypted in energy, sent from the very place your soul was first born. You've felt it, haven't you? That unexplainable shift, a silence that isn't empty, but waiting. And now, a tall man, yes, tall not just in body but in spiritual stature, is nearing your doorstep. But make no mistake, my grounded one. He is not just here to visit. He's here to awaken what you've buried. To return what you lost. And perhaps, to demand what you've refused to face. So before you brush this off as coincidence, take a breath. Because what you're about to discover isn't just about a stranger arriving. It's about you finally meeting the part of yourself you've kept locked behind every strong wall you've built. Stay with me, Capricorn. Because the one knocking may look unfamiliar. But his message was always meant for you. Part 1. The omen approaches. There are moments in life when something enters your field, and you don't notice it with your eyes, you sense it with your soul. That's what's happening now, Capricorn. Something is approaching, something tall, something ancient, something you didn't expect, and yet, a part of you has always known it would come. You've been building your life like a fortress, brick by brick, wall by wall. Discipline, structure, control. And for the most part, it's worked. You've kept the chaos out. You've kept your world in order. But lately, haven't you felt it? That strange creaking under the floorboards of your life. The sudden drafts in rooms you thought were sealed. That's not your imagination. It's the first warning. The omen. He's not here yet, not physically. But his energy is. Picture this. A tall figure walking down a quiet road. Long coat. Shoulders broad with presence. He walks slowly, not because he's in no rush, but because he knows exactly where he's going. Your door. But don't be fooled by the physical imagery. This man isn't just someone who will knock and leave. He is a presence. A force. He represents a turning point, a direct confrontation between the world you built and the parts of yourself you buried in its foundation. You see, Capricorn, when you've carried so much weight for so long, the soul begins to whisper for a shift. And when you ignore the whisper, the universe sends someone who will speak louder. That man, the one approaching your energetic door, is here for that reason. Not to ruin what you've built, but to test it. To check its foundation. To ask, did you build this from fear, or from truth? And that question, my dear Capricorn, will change everything. Life lesson, Part 1. When we build walls too high, we forget what sunlight feels like. Capricorn, your strength is undeniable. But even a fortress becomes a prison when it's built on fear instead of faith. Sometimes, the universe doesn't send us storms to destroy our lives. It sends us visitors, messengers, to see if the life we've built can handle truth. And truth will always knock, even if you've tried to bolt the door. Don't fear the knock. Welcome it. Because often, what feels like a disruption is actually the doorway to your next evolution. Coming up next, why this tall man was drawn to you and what you've unconsciously been summoning into your reality all along. Part 2. Why he was drawn to you. Not all calls are made with words. Some are made with wounds. Some with long-held silence. And some with the quiet ache of being the strong one for too long. That's the call your soul has been sending, Capricorn. And that's why he's coming. This tall presence didn't pick your doorstep by accident. He didn't wander here lost. He was summoned, pulled by a signal so ancient, so deeply encoded in your spirit, that even you may have forgotten it was there. You've carried so much for so many. You've shown up when no one else would. And yet, somewhere along the climb, you stopped asking for someone to show up for you. Not because you didn't need it, but because you stopped believing it would happen. But here's what the universe knows, and what you're about to remember. Every soul has a limit. And just before that limit cracks, destiny intervenes. The man who nears your door is not a savior. He is a summons fulfilled. A response to the silent plea of your inner child, the exhausted adult, the wise elder that lives inside you all at once. He comes not because you're weak, but because you've been too strong, for too long, alone. Your aura, though grounded and composed, has begun to hum with a frequency that cannot lie. Help me remember who I am. Help me realign. Help me soften. And that is exactly what this visitor brings. He doesn't just enter with power. He brings recognition. Because his presence will mirror back to you all the parts of yourself you've tucked away behind function, duty, and the endless checklists of survival. When he looks at you, you may feel exposed. Not because he sees something bad, but because he sees something true. And truth, when you haven't touched it in a long time, can feel like fire. Life lesson, part 2. Sometimes we think we need to be rescued, but what we really need is to be remembered. Not remembered by others, remembered by ourselves. And the universe, in its strange wisdom, sends us mirrors in human form to reflect the light we've buried beneath practicality and performance. Capricorn, the presence that nears your door is not here to change you, he's here to help you see who you've always been, before the world demanded so much of you. This is not about being saved. It's about being seen. Part 3. The mirror he carries. He brings no weapon, no suitcase, no threat. And yet, when he enters your field, you feel like something's about to be dismantled. Something sacred, something secret, something carefully held together. But he's not here to tear you down. He's here to show you the structure you've built and ask a single, silent question. Is this who you truly are, or who you needed to become to survive? The mirror he carries isn't made of glass. It's made of presence, of spiritual gravity, of stillness so deep, it disarms the masks you've worn even to yourself. And in that moment, you see it. All the roles you've played, the armor you've worn, the pain you've hidden behind competence. He doesn't accuse. He doesn't scold. He simply stands and reflects. Capricorn, there's a unique ache only you know, the ache of being strong without showing the strain. Of being reliable in a world that forgets the cost. Of building for others and forgetting what it feels like to be held. This man is not here to comfort you. He's here to awaken the parts of you that became too quiet. In his presence, you may feel exposed. But what he's really doing is reminding you of what you sacrificed and what it's time to reclaim. He doesn't bring answers. He brings clarity. And clarity is often the first step toward dismantling what no longer belongs. Life lesson, part 3. Sometimes, life doesn't send us someone to fix us. It sends someone who simply won't let us keep pretending. Capricorn, you've mastered survival. You've built walls so elegant they look like homes. But strength without softness becomes isolation. This presence is your soul's invitation to drop the disguise, not for the world, but for yourself. Because nothing real can be threatened. And your truth, no matter how long it's been buried, is still yours to claim. In the next chapter, we will explore what it means to open your door, not just physically, but energetically, and how your sacred space is about to be redefined. Part 4. Your house is not just a house. Most people think of their house as a place. But for you, Capricorn, it's something more. It's a structure, a system, a living reflection of how you survive and what you protect. You didn't just build walls and roofs. You built boundaries and blueprints, layers of expectations and emotional zoning laws. Every room, a role you had to play. Every locked door, a secret you've learned to live around. The man at your threshold doesn't just enter your living room. He enters your inner layout, the architecture of your identity. And as he walks through, you begin to feel it. Some rooms haven't been visited in years. There's the room of suppressed joy where you put away the dreams that felt impractical. The hallway of unspoken fears echoing with the footsteps of everything you never said. And perhaps worst of all, the guest room of pretending you're fine, always clean, always quiet, but never truly lived in. He doesn't touch anything, but his presence alone stirs the dust. Memories rise like old air, and so do the questions. Who is this house really for? What am I still protecting? And is it time to redecorate, or demolish and rebuild? You see, This house has kept you safe. But now it's also keeping you small. And here's the secret, Capricorn. Safety is not the same thing as sanctuary. A sanctuary is where the soul breathes. A house built on fear becomes a museum of survival. And you were never meant to live in a museum. Life Lesson, Part 4. Not every structure we build deserves to last forever. Capricorn, what once protected you might now be confining you. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is unlock the front door from the inside. Your life isn't a fortress to defend. It's a temple to evolve. Let it breathe. Let it shift. Let it make room for what's truly aligned, not just what's familiar. In the next part, we'll explore exactly what needs to be cleared physically, emotionally, spiritually to make room for the destiny knocking at your door. Part 5. What must be cleared? You cannot welcome destiny into a space that's still cluttered with ghosts. Capricorn, before this presence can truly step across the threshold of your life, something must be released. And I'm not just talking about physical space. I'm talking about the invisible clutter, the emotional dust, the unspoken words, the outdated beliefs you've stored in the attic of your soul. Take a breath and ask yourself, what am I still holding that no longer belongs to who I'm becoming? That grudge you wear like a badge of honor. That memory you revisit when no one's watching. That pressure to carry everyone, just so you can feel worthy of being here. These are not small things. These are energetic weights, nailed into the foundation of your life. And now, the energy arriving at your door is asking, will you let this house breathe? Will you allow space for a new blueprint? Start simple. Clean a drawer. Light a candle not out of routine, but intention. Speak aloud the name of the person you still resent, and then say, I set you free. And I set myself free too. This isn't about perfection. It's about permission. The permission to no longer be bound by survival patterns you inherited or created. The tall man coming into your life won't walk through a door surrounded by debris. He represents alignment. And alignment only flows into cleared, consecrated space. Life Lesson, Part 5. The things we cling to most tightly are often the very things holding us back. Capricorn, your strength is not in how much you carry, it's in how consciously you release. The universe doesn't reward hoarding, it rewards harmony. If you want what's aligned to enter, you must lovingly part with what no longer serves. Because only in the empty spaces can the miracles arrive. In the next chapter, we'll face the most powerful twist yet. The truth that this tall man is not just a visitor, but a mirror of your highest self, finally ready to return home. Part 6. The man is you. All this time, you've imagined him as someone else. A stranger. A symbol. A presence from beyond. But what if I told you? He is not a stranger. He is the part of you that's been exiled, too powerful, too pure, too true for the world you thought you had to survive in. That tall man walking toward your life is you. Not the version that smiles when they're tired. Not the version that takes care of everyone while silently burning out. Not the version that plays safe to be acceptable. No. He is the one who remembers. Who doesn't apologize for his power. Who doesn't shrink to fit. Who knows exactly why he came here and refuses to forget it. He is the architect. The sovereign. The original blueprint of your soul before the world made you edit it. And now, he's done waiting. He's not here to ask for permission to return. He's here to reclaim his place, not outside you, but within you. This is why everything feels so intense right now. Because you're not preparing for a guest. You're preparing to reintegrate yourself. The reason you feel pressure is because your soul is expanding beyond the false ceilings you placed on it. The reason things are shifting is because your highest frequency is done playing small. The knock at the door wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from within the walls of your being, where your deepest self has been patiently waiting for you to stop dimming your own light. Life Lesson, Part 6. What you seek is not separate from you. The power you thought was lost wasn't stolen, it was buried. And now, Capricorn, you are remembering where you hid it. You don't need to chase alignment. You are the alignment. The man you feared might disrupt your life is the one who came to rebuild it from the inside out. And he is you in your most honest, unshakable, and divinely sovereign form. In the next part, we'll explore what this rebirth means for your world, how your house must now evolve to fit the magnificence of the being you've reclaimed. Part 7. The house must evolve. When you change, your space must change with you. You cannot contain the sun in a lantern. And you, Capricorn, are no longer the dim light you once accepted. You are rising, and the house you built for your former self. It's too small now. Every structure you created, the routines, the relationships, the rules. They were designed for who you were when you needed protection, not for who you've become now. The version of you that's returning isn't here to fit in. He's here to expand, to breathe, to stretch, to rebuild from truth, not trauma. That means walls may crack. Furniture may need to be thrown out, beliefs, habits, people even. Not out of anger, but because they simply don't belong in the architecture of your evolved self. This is sacred renovation. And yes, it may be uncomfortable. Because comfort is often found in the familiar, even when the familiar is far too small. But I want you to pause and look around. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Ask yourself, is this life still shaped for the person I truly am, or for the person I used to be? Your answer will tell you what stays, and what must go. Life Lesson, Part 7. Evolution requires excavation. Capricorn, you are not here to decorate a prison with productivity. You are here to design a sanctuary that mirrors your soul's highest frequency. Growth doesn't ask, is this comfortable? It asks, is this true? And the version of you reclaiming power now refuses to live inside anything less than full alignment. So tear down what no longer serves. Build with light. And let your life become a structure that honors your becoming. In the final part, we'll bring everything together, the man, the house, the power, and reveal how your destiny unfolds now that you've answered your own knock at the door. Part 8. Conclusion. You are the architect. So here we are, Capricorn. At the end, and yet, also at the beginning. The tall man is no longer outside your door. He's not knocking anymore. Because you've opened it. You've let him in, not as a guest, but as a part of you. The part you had buried beneath expectations, logic, and loyalty. You thought this presence was here to shake your life. But in truth, he came to realign it. He didn't arrive to test your strength. He arrived to remind you that you were the strength all along. And now, your house is evolving. Not because you're falling apart, but because you're finally falling into truth. Everything you thought you had to hold together, all the pressure, all the weight. You now realize, that wasn't power. That was protection. Your real power is in your ability to redesign yourself. To release the patterns you no longer need. To rebuild from clarity. To lead from stillness, not exhaustion. You're no longer the caretaker of a structure built from survival. You are the architect of your divine becoming. And what happens next? That's for you to design. With new blueprints, new walls, new windows wide enough to let the truth and the light back in. You don't need to be discovered. You only need to be remembered. And that memory lives inside your bones, your breath, your soul's blueprint. Welcome home, Capricorn. To yourself. Final life lesson. The future doesn't belong to those who wait for rescue. It belongs to those who reclaim the sacred pen and rewrite the architecture of their lives, not from fear, but from truth. Capricorn, you are no longer just the builder. You are the blueprint. You are the foundation. You are the structure through which destiny now flows. Final blessing, sacred closing for Capricorn. My beloved Capricorn, you were never lost. You were only buried beneath responsibilities, expectations, and silent endurance. But now, something ancient has been unearthed. A power that was never gone, only waiting. Waiting for the right alignment, the right readiness. The right moment where you would finally say, I remember who I am. You are not the product of the wounds you've carried. You are the living proof that even stone can bleed, and still, rise as a mountain. You do not owe the world your exhaustion. You owe yourself your return. And now, you return not as the one who needs permission, but as the one who writes the blueprints, who builds from vision, not validation, from stillness, not sacrifice. May your path forward be carved with consciousness. May your house become a temple not of duty, but of divinity. And may every step you take echo with the truth. I am not just surviving. I am remembering. I am becoming. Call to subscribe, Zodiac Secrets Revealed. If something in this message awakened a truth you've long forgotten, if you felt seen, remembered, and called into your own power, then don't let this moment pass silently. Subscribe to Zodiac Secrets Revealed, where your zodiac isn't just a sign. It's a soul blueprint waiting to be activated. This is more than a channel. It's a mirror, a map, a sacred space for those ready to reclaim their truth. And if you're a Capricorn who's done pretending, done shrinking, and finally ready to build the life your soul actually came here to live, then join us. Because the secrets aren't hidden. They're written in your stars. And we're here to reveal them together.